war in Vietnam is unlike any war Americans have fought before. Its demands for close fire support are enormous. Army artillery has met these demands with massive firepower, using a wide variety of field pieces. It is backed up by armed helicopters and tactical air support. In Vietnam, the Army has learned a great deal about the movement and use of fire support in counter-guerrilla warfare. For artillery, just like the infantry it supports, there are no front lines, no rear areas in Vietnam. The battlefield may be anywhere. Although its battle doctrine is as sound as ever, the artillery found itself fighting under unprecedented combat conditions. From this new experience, artillery evolved a series of lessons learned to help it carry out its mission. Since there is no safe movement between points, artillerymen learned they must maintain maximum security during convoy movement on the ground. Constant, unflagging alertness and battle readiness are musts for survival. Troops must sit or stand facing out, ever watchful. Windshields on jeeps should be down for better all-around visibility. For the same reason, canvas covers should be off trucks, and truck floors should be sandbagged for protection against enemy mines. Keep tailgates down for instant offloading in case of ambush. Vigilance must never be relaxed. Viet Cong often infiltrate the local population. Open country may conceal ambush sites. Snipers may be hiding in built-up areas. Convoy movement should be made under air cover of either rotary or fixed-wing aircraft. These flying eyes should remain on station until the movement is completed. Scouting ahead of the convoy, they look for breaks in the road, for blown bridges, or for large gatherings of people that suggest a hostile force. These aircraft should carry a trained artillery forward observer to look for potential ambush sites and adjust pre-planned fires on targets along the route of march. In this most mobile of wars, artillery must fly to keep up with the air-mobile infantry to give it timely fire support. This is taught a loading lesson. Keep weight down for maximum air mobility. This section has loaded its section equipment and personal gear on the howitzer for a single unloading operation at the landing zone. The prime mover for heavy equipment is the Chinook. This helicopter can airlift a 105mm howitzer intact, plus a minimum of personnel and ammunition, or 150 rounds of ammo or other supplies. As a principle, during air assault, artillery is emplaced in advance. The battery commander goes forward with his infantry protecting force. The battery itself follows within minutes. During those few minutes, the battery commander selects gun positions and strong points for their defense. Another lesson learned is this: be prepared to fire in any direction. The enemy has shown time and again that he may attack from any side. So perimeter security must be a full 360 degrees. To establish it, artillerymen must dig in just like riflemen. Be prepared to use the howitzer in a direct fire role. Most times, a small detachment of infantry is provided for battery protection. But the cannoneer must always be ready to act as a rifleman. An old lesson given new meaning is to keep personal weapons clean and combat ready. This necessary task should not be an excuse for relaxing security. A good policy is to have one half of the men clean their weapons, while the other half remains on the alert. Keeping artillery pieces clean is especially important in Vietnam because high humidity increases the danger of rust and malfunction. Combat is no excuse for improper storage of ammo and fuses. They should be undercover and stored off the ground for protection against all weather conditions. Store white phosphorus shells upright. If not, the heavier chemicals gravitate to the lower part of the shell, causing erratic trajectories in flight. This battery position is a negative lesson in proper discipline. Note the litter of powder bags and the lack of a tarpaulin over this ammo. Such carelessness will show in poor battery performance. The 105 is the acknowledged workhorse of the artillery. It has all-weather capability and is light in weight, accurate and rugged. It has met artillery's needs for great flexibility in counter-guerrilla operations. One of the lessons of unconventional warfare is to stress pre-planned fires, especially on known and suspected enemy targets, avenues of approach and withdrawal, and landing zones. Another important lesson is that artillery fire support must often be placed within 50 meters of friendly lines when the enemy is engaged at close quarters. This calls for the highest precision in gunnery procedures. The gunner and assistant gunner must be alert. Bubbles must be checked constantly to make sure they are level. Accuracy in deflection and quadrant is crucial to avoid rounds falling on friendly troops or innocent civilians in the battle area. Giving fire orders in the battery position by telephone instead of voice has proved highly desirable in combat. The lesson learned is that someone must be on the phone at all times to ensure swift response when a call for fire support comes in from the infantry. A new artillery piece that has proved itself on the field is the M102, a lightweight 105mm howitzer. An additional feature is its 400 mil traverse capability. This permits rapid traverse to fire in any direction of the compass. Fire direction center techniques must be changed accordingly. Charts are now set up to take advantage of the 102 howitzer's 400 mil sector of fire. Another lesson this war teaches is how much the use of fuses is determined by terrain. For open country, like this through which friendly troops are now seen advancing, the VT fuse has the greatest casualty-producing effect. The fuse goes off automatically 20 meters above the ground, and shell fragments sprayed down on the enemy.